Hello, hello, hello. Let's do the final check-in for Champion number 5 in the Galactic Football League series, science fiction series by Scott Sigler. 2014 science fiction novel, sports science fiction novel set 700 years in the future, where Quentin Barnes is a he is basically your poor from a super religious fundamentalist planet, but he's come to the big city where he's got to actually get along with all sorts of different species, races, I guess would be the obvious tie-in, and learn to become a leader of people as the star quarterback of the Einathan Krakens, owned by a gangster and stuff like that. And so, yes, this is in this final section here. There is an attack. There's a terrorist attack. Not a terrorist. Well, I guess it is a terrorist attack. Jonathan Sandoval, the reporter, supermod, finds a different employer. It's basically it's the Abernathy. Pay him to take out Quentin. Does not take out Quentin. Kills the coach. Kills a couple other people. Wounds him in a very significant way. It fucks up his throwing arm, and he has nerve damage. And the doctor says it's like you're likely never going to be able to, catch or pass again with any accuracy whatsoever. I mean, it's one of these games. He's an elite athlete where, every inch, every second, every little minute thing could make the difference between being the elite and being at the bottom of the league. And his arm is really fucked. This happens just before the big playoff final game, where they're going in up against Donald Pine, his old teammate who turned out had been throwing games, being paid to throw games. So they have a lot of history, especially since Pine basically put the blame on Quentin. And for a good hunk of time in there, people were basically roasting, vilifying Quentin, making him feel like shit. Never really, he hadn't up until now kind of ever, forgiven him for the real hell he put him through. But they go into the final game, and yes, it's like, this is for the coach. And it's like, it's such a sports cliche of like, win one for the Gipper, but truly these things work. And it does, it totally taps in. You totally feel this kind of, oh God, and he writes it really well, of the death of the coach, hook arm, hook chest. He really writes it well. Greedock is shown as sort of kind of the coward criminal he is, selfish bastard coward criminal he is. They go into the game. Quentin shines again. Becca is the quarterback, and she does as a good job as possible. He says, like, you're never going to be you don't have what it takes to be a star thing, but you know what you do have? You're mean. We can win this game. And it doesn't matter if we win it ugly. All that people will care about is that we won. So they go into the final game, and yes, they do. And in the final play, Quentin is there, and very satisfyingly gets pulled into defense, and uses his quarterback skills of dodging and stuff like that to get by and tackle Donald Pine to the thing, and John Tweedy gets the ball and takes it into the end zone, and they win. Comes down to it, it's like, this was for the coach, that kind of thing. But there's also the wider thing of like, what's going to happen? And indeed, I know from spoilers from Aja, my co-reader in this series, that that the next book is an off-season book. We've so far, most of these things we've always had, okay, there's been a bit of stuff happening off season, and then we've gotten back into the game, and the game's kind of been in the focus. In the start of this book, it was very much off season, kind of going into the into the Portath cloud to rescue his sister, but then we went into the game. The next one, the gangster, is all going to be off season. We're not coming up to the next season. And I guess we'll see where Quentin's health is. Like, his arm sounds like it's completely busted. As he was talking to Prine, it's like you're not going to be, he finds like you're not going to want to be a defensive tackle or offensive tackle, are you? It's like no, he can't imagine how Becca did this day in, day out. His body could not take that punishment, not after 4 years of all the other wear and tear he's had. Like, he would be completely fucked up. So it's like, what will he do? What will he do? It's like, what kind of capabilities can he actually have at this point to continue the game? But maybe he will. We'll see. I mean, Sigler is actually, for a science fiction kind of fun thing, he's really good at doing kind of the physics and just like, what things are possible, and like, the injuries he's described, you can't see it. But yeah. So that was the Champion. Really satisfying book, just in itself. Like, it has a story in itself, but it has this overarching story with the coming forces of the Abernathy, dun dun dun, and all the intrigue within the thing, and the Creatopian Empire and the Zoroastrian League, which sees this kind of shadowy terrorist league, which has been infiltrated by the Abernathy. It's like, yeah, really fascinating, fun, well-paced sports, science fiction, war. We're getting into war story, I guess, here. But a lot of stuff about like making the hard decisions as a leader being a big part of this. It's like sports reflects a certain part of human life as much as literature does. And it's moral decisions, it's leadership decisions, it's trying to push yourself beyond your limits. It's having to kind of come to face with your limits as a human being. So yeah. And also great storytelling. All there in sports as well as in literature and genre literature. All right, we'll leave it there. Off to the gangster. More videos later.